How are you today, Curtis?
Good. Do you have anybody else coming out?
I can't hear you.
Good. Do you have anybody else coming out? That's all. How about now?
You verbal? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm unmuted, so
I can't hear you.
that's odd.
And
Here. Let me.
this should be coming out of my. Oh, you know what? It's probably me.
Everything seems fine.
Try again now.
Yeah. What's up?
How's that? Much
I
better.
guess.
Yeah, I set up an internal or external mic or external speakers so that maybe if I show videos, people may be able to get an idea or they may be able to hear it. Remember we were having that issue where I couldn't display it?
Yeah, you gotta put it close to the mic then.
Like I said, I put an internal speaker so that I hopefully don't have that issue.
You want to try it and see what happens?
We'll see what happens throughout the day. Again, I'm not going to try it right now because I want to start talking about what we came out here for tonight.
Okay.
We want to start a Toastmasters Club. It's part of my journey. I moniker myself as a Toastmaster without a club. So let me introduce myself. I'm RJ Horner. I am a leader in an online community called Live and Love Life Leadership that Curtis and I have created together. But we want more within our journey. So we decided I decided I needed Toastmasters back. Curtis thinks it's a great idea to join me. And so we're looking, to help discover Toastmasters and potential Toastmasters out there. Toastmasters like myself who are lost, who are without a club for whatever reason, and they no longer want to have that status. There are many people out there. Since we've gone from being able to meet in public, there's a lot of clubs that have closed. And so we're starting to get these membership drives going on now where new clubs are hopefully starting up. Ours will be an online only club. We'll go into a little bit today about some of the things that Toastmasters does, how it can help you, and why you should become a Toastmaster. So right now it's just you and I here online in the meeting. I hope people will join us. I posted it out there a lot. Hopefully they'll be watching on Facebook because I really want to eventually show people what this club experience is all about. So again, I'll introduce myself, then you can introduce yourself, Curtis, and then we'll try and talk a little bit about what Toastmasters does. So I'm RJ Horner. My name is Robert John Horner. I use RJ because people remember RJ. So that has become my moniker, but it also lets me reach people out there. It helps me share my message because people don't know or want to hear from Robert John. It's just, simple as that. So RJ works for me, and that's a name I've used for myself. Not as I'm hiding myself. It is my name, Robert John, but using RJ really helps get notice for me. So I use that to my advantage and moniker myself as RJ Horner. But I am a life leader. I am not a certified coach. I am a peer support facilitator. But what that means is I'm qualified and certified and good at leading groups. I'm good at leading people through their journey. So that's me, and that's what I'm doing for my future. So I'd like Curtis to introduce himself. He's the only other person here with me tonight. Curtis, tell us a little bit about who you are and why you decided, or just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you thought this was a great idea.
My name is Curtis Leong, and I am an author of the book of ABCs of Pause Life, Simple Guide to Winning Mindset. I chose to join RJ on this Toastmaster adventure because I have done Toastmasters before. I've checked it out a couple times, and I thought it was a really awesome program they have to become a leader, to be able to speak well. And I think being able to communicate clearly and precisely is a good thing to be able to do in the world today. So that's why I've joined him. Him and I work together at Live and Love Life together, and we do some other side projects as well, such as this one. And I'm joining him today so to support him on his journey of being a Toastmaster president and myself as a vice president. There you go, RJ.
You definitely have. So I will talk about that too, because there are many roles to be played with the Toastmasters. There are many executive roles, and we are looking for that executive committee. And yes, you will play one of the vice presidents within our club. So having said that, let me look at them. So yes, we are chartering our club. This is our charter right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but our membership number is up there, 7966860. If we get to our fruition. So there are some costs involved with Toastmasters. It's not a free enterprise, but what it is a membership organization. So there are dues to be paid. There are fees every year, or in fact, you pay for it. I think now they've set it up so you can pay for a term of 6 months, whereas it used to be a year. You had to buy for a year. I think they lost a lot of Toastmasters because paying for a year, and then you're not able to attend every meeting. And then it becomes not valuable, especially some clubs meet once a month. And if you're paying for, a year to attend once a month, but, you're only attending 3 to 5 months out of the year, the value is not there. But I'm going to tell you that Toastmasters is probably the cheapest, most affordable program out there for your leadership and communication training. And that's the best part. So you said you went to a Toastmasters club before. Are you a member, Curtis?
No, I never joined because COVID.
Because so when did you start joining a Toastmasters event? When did you attend?
2018, I went to one meeting, and then I went to a couple more because I work a lot, right? So I was only able to go a couple times. So I wanted to join, and then they had like a drive. I was about to sign up, and then COVID hit. So in 2020. So end of December 2019, I was thinking about it, and then I started working hard. So then I said I'll do it later, and then by the time it came around again, COVID was around, so it didn't really happen.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's a lot
anybody
of people
called me again either, so I didn't know if they're still around or what happened. So
and the same thing happened with my club here in Orangeville. They just disappeared after COVID. They just disappeared. I started looking out when I wanted my Toastmasters Journey. I started looking for my club, and it turns out they've disbanded. They don't exist anymore. So I didn't want to satisfy, or I wasn't happy with just being a Toastmaster without a club. I need that in my life. I know it's going to look. You can see I'm a fairly good communicator, but there are flaws. Especially, have you ever heard the term of awe counter, Curtis?
Yes.
Do you know what the awe counter does?
It's just so that when you're speaking, you don't say ah and ums too much, and it gives you a more clear speech. So you're not like delaying with unnecessary words, basically, I guess you could say.
Right. Yep. And ah, which you just heard me use, these are things we're looking for. But you're also looking for oh, or I thought, or just little filler words. But see, you notice I still use them. So I need these things to help improve. Have you ever noticed the professional speakers? They do have that. There's no hesitation. There's no pause words. There's no filler words because they learn how to. Sorry.
They usually don't say anything. They get rid of it because they know they're so about to say it, so they
because
stop
they've
saying.
Practiced, right? Yeah. Because they've had opportunity, and that's what Toastmasters is. So it's a safe space. I'm not going to say it's non-judgmental, and we'll get to that in a second. But it's a safe space for you to practice your communication skills. That's what they originally started for. And in a moment, I'm going to play a video from the founder of Toastmasters when he started this club up. or at least talking about when he started this club up and what its purpose was. But yeah, so it's a safe space for you to practice your communication as it was started. But it's also about leadership. Look, we build an executive committee and that's an elected committee. Now we're going to try and piece together our executive. Curtis, like you say, you're going to play a vice president role. I've started this club, so I'm going to play the president role for at least probably up to a year. After that, it will be an election to decide who's the best executive or who's going to take the next role, because we do want people to fill these roles, because it's about leadership training as well. That's how you're training to run meetings, play different responsible roles, get executive or leadership training, because you have documentation that you have to do, you have marketing you have to do. These are all part of running a club. And it takes the executive leader of that membership to play these roles. So just because you're a Toastmaster and you got in for communication, look, it is a place that will push you. That's the whole point of Toastmasters. You're out here to push yourself to that next level. So if you're ready to push yourself, if you're ready to step up and, put in a little work, then Toastmasters, I believe, is for everybody out there in that place. Whether you're a lost Toastmasters, which is who we're looking to capture, or you're looking like yourself, who, Curtis, you've been out there, you've been trying to find a club, you've considered it. Now's the time. So we're trying to get those people. So, if you didn't come out tonight, don't worry. We're going to host these every Monday night. We're hosting this at 8 p.m. because it's just a short intro of what Toastmasters can do for you. But over the next month, we're going to keep gathering. And then in March, which is when we have to charter our club, I want these to be from 7 to 9 p.m. Monday evenings. Is that a good time for you, Curtis?
I can make it work for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people can. And that's kind of why I've chosen that day and time, is because, first of all, Monday, people usually don't plan too many things on a Monday because, after the weekend, their first day at work, they want to come home. So they don't schedule much. But I thought, here's a good thing. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a communicator, you need to put in a little effort and schedule some time to learn, to train, to become better. What better night than that Monday night that most of us have open? And I chose, at least we're in Eastern time, so I've chosen it after dinner, you know what I mean? So we can still get our dinner time and then still devote this time to a club and to our membership and Toastmasters Journey. So tell us a little bit about your experience, Curtis, having been in the club environment, while I set up a video that I'm going to try and play from the founder.
Well, the first time I was kind of shy, but I did a speaking course with Raymond Aaron, so I wasn't too shy. I kind of knew a little bit. So the first time I was there, I just sat there quietly and listened to what they had to do. They had some interesting people doing stuff, like a timekeeper person. They had some person checking for grammar stuff or whatever, like words people use. And then and all count, like you said earlier, they were doing that as well. So that was kind of neat. And then they asked me if I wanted a speech. I was like, yeah, sure. So I just talked about some random thing because they give you little things to talk about, right? So like it could be a word. So the word, they had like 3 or 4 words of the day. They had a couple subjects, right? So then you have a few minutes to think about the words. And if you use the words of the day, they are plus in your subject, you get bonus points, right? So then at the end of the session, they vote who did the best speech. And I just felt like a couple times there's a few people that are like super duper at it because they've been there for a while or they've done professional speaking before. And usually those type of people do quite well. But it's for everybody, right? Even if you're a beginner, they really are very encouraging and helpful, and they say, "Oh, good job." And yeah, it was really awesome, I thought.
Absolutely. And then you mentioned one thing, is that the rules. Look, if you're new in the club, look, we're not just gonna, like Curtis said, how did you do a speech your first day?
No, second or third, I think I went second or
Right.
third time. Yeah. Well,
But
they
did you
asked, right?
play a
If you're
role?
brave enough to do it.
Sorry?
If you're brave enough, you can go up and do it anytime, right?
For sure. You know what? If you are courageous and you're comfortable, absolutely, you could easily, see there, I do it again. You could
Yep.
easily step up and do a speech. But that's not necessarily the case. And that's why we usually ask people to play a role within the club first thing, right? So that they can get used to the experience. And those roles, like you say, we talked about the counter. That's I think, and then there's the grammarian. Those are two different roles. The timekeeper, there's another role. So these are roles that you can play regardless of whether it's your first time. These are simple roles where you can help keep people accountable.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said it's not a non-judgmental environment, because you do have evaluators. You do have fellow members of your club, and it's a different one all the time. And what we did in my club was each person would, because we were a smaller club, each person would evaluate. We only had an average of 8 people attending on a meeting, and that's low for a Toastmasters club. Like I said, to start this club, and I'll get to that in a second, but we need more membership than 8 members. But these are roles you can play, and I don't care whether it's your first time or you've been here a little while. These are roles that you can play to get comfortable and experience the journey. So I'm going to play this video from the founder, just talking about why he set up the club and what its purpose was. I hope everybody can hear it. Let me know if you can hear okay, Curtis.
I'm going to call it right now. I think I found
That's the ad, of course. We got to go through the ads.
It's this Chrome extension called
It does sound good.
The sound is not good?
It's good. Better than before. I like it.
Very good.
No man knows it better than its founder, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. Dr. Smedley.
You can share a screen.
Toastmasters grew out of an effort to meet the needs of a group of men in
Are you sharing screen or no?
Oh, I'm not sharing. Hold on. Let me pause that, because I'm not sharing the screen.
Yep.
Because I want people to see this as well. I want them to get a feel for what we're putting together as a Toastmasters Club. So let me go back to Zoom so I can share my screen and people can watch what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Is that the one? No, that's the one. So you can see, can you see my screen there, Curtis?
Yeah, it's
You
good.
see a gentleman in purple, in a purple screen there?
Yeah, just make it full size.
Yep.
Good. Yep, perfect.
So this is our founder, Ralph Smedley.
Toastmasters.
No, this is not. This is just an introduction.
Ralph C. Smedley. Dr. Smedley.
Toastmasters grew out of an effort to meet the needs of a group of men in Bloomington, Illinois, more than half a century ago. In those days, I was a YMCA secretary. Many of the men with whom I was associated in that work needed help in talking and in meeting other people. They had ideas, but they did not know how to express them. However, they did not want a formal class in public speaking, and when I suggested a club in which they could learn to talk by talking, they welcomed the idea. I believed in the sound pedagogical principles of learning by doing and improving through helpful suggestions or constructive criticism, as I preferred to call it. Businessmen, professional men, laboring men, men of a variety of occupations came into the club, and they were surprised by the results which they achieved through following our simple process of practice and criticism. We were strictly an educational group. We avoided the atmosphere of the classroom, and we learned in moments of enjoyment. As men in other communities heard of our plan, they desired the same training for themselves. It is gratifying, as I look back over our development through the years, to know that the growth has been the result of the desire of men to improve themselves in speech and in communication with other people. Yes, many thousands of men throughout the free world have profited by Toastmasters training and have been led into more productive living, more satisfactory living by this means. I hope to see many thousands more given the advantage of this training in the years to come.
Now, did you
Oh.
see the difference in the two logos there?
Yep.
The 1950s version and then the one we have today.
Yep. Crazy.
So that was like I said, Ralph Smedley, who created this. Really, it was a YMCA, just a club, a little extracurricular activity that they had in their club, and I believe it was San Diego that they started it. So that was what they did way back when. It was just a club so that people can get together and practice their speaking. But I like what he said, that many people have grown on to, have satisfactory lives, have been able to lead more comfort and excel in their lives, not necessarily their careers, not necessarily in public speaking, but just that practice in their lives gives you confidence and ability that you didn't have before you started this. Look, that was one of the things of why I got into Toastmasters. Is I was the guy when in a meeting, I didn't want to speak up. You know what I mean? All of a sudden I'm in an office role or a like in a setting where I'm an executive sort of thing, and I need to have my opinion. But when it came time, my face would go red and I really didn't want to say anything, and I just would have rather, hid in the corner of the room, or even ran out of the room. But I had to speak up, and that was scary. That was even nauseating. It would really make me almost feel sick having to speak. So I thought, look, I'm in this role where I need to speak up. I have things to say, and I can't be afraid not to say them. So I sought out Toastmasters, and like you, Curtis, I spent a good amount of time, trying to fit in with Toastmasters, trying to find a club. Eventually, the only one that fit for me was a club near my house. It wasn't the greatest club, I will admit. Like I said, 8 people was the average that showed up. That's not a great club. I like what you put out because I want to have a dynamic club. I want to make this powerful for everybody. So you said your club had the word of the day. We didn't have that in my club.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's create a word of the day today. There's a word I love. I've already used it once today. Power. So if you use the word power today, we'll put a little notch in it. Okay. Right? I haven't done it yet, but we'll put a little notch down. Curtis, you're here. And RJ is here. And if we use the word of the day, we'll give us a little notch. And at the end, so how this will work is, I just came to me, is that if you are the winner, the leader of the word of the day, next meeting, next week, you will be the master Toastmaster. Now, do you know what the master Toastmaster is?
I forget exactly. It's been a while.
It's basically the MC role. You're the one who's going to lead the group next week. It's not the president's job to run the meeting. It's the president's job to ensure the meetings run, to ensure that we can get the membership and we can get people doing what they're doing and get their speeches. But really, it's the president's job to coordinate with the executive committee to make the club happen. So again, if you are the champ, the leader in the word of the day, you will be the Toastmaster next event. I like that. That seems like a valid reward, does it not, Curtis?
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Yeah.
Yep. And now some people may think about that as a reward, and some people may think of it as, oh my God, I have to host the meeting. Oh my God, what am I going to write? Because again, I told you, I started out that way. So don't worry, we're not going to force you to take on this role if you're not ready for it. But we want people to step up and we want people to take these positions. So look, emceeing is a challenge, but it's also a great experience. Look, I can host these things because I've done the MC role. So the word of the day is power. And if you use it, we'll give each other a notch, and the person who uses it the most, well, we're going to run our meetings. But you know what? Maybe you'll run next week's meeting. How about that? Would you like to do that, Curtis?
I'm not sure. But I'm
See what I mean? You see what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Listen, if you got that, and I would like you to host one of these
Yep.
introductory meetings. Okay, we're going to do 4 of them. I think it's 4 because I want to get them all in this month.
Yep.
So I would like you to host one. Okay, so I'll work with you to make sure that happens. I'm not going to leave you high, but again, it's about us stepping out, right? It's about us taking that challenge. You've already admitted it makes you a little nervous, right?
Yep.
So we will ensure that you're prepared and you do it. Look, you may not do what I do, but I do this often, right? I talk to people often in this format, so I'm a little more comfortable than you doing it. So, but I like the word of the day. Now, the next thing we do in a club, and you already brought this up, is the table talks is what they're referred
Okay.
to. And I thought I was pretty good at it in my club. I could usually, based on the topic, get up and give. And the idea is it's supposed to be like 90 seconds to 3 minutes. You're supposed to give a speech within that realm. Ideally, you're trying to hit the 2-minute mark, but it's 90 seconds to 3 minutes. And the closer you get to 3 minutes, the better you're going to be judged on your speech. So, table talks.
That's it. Yeah, I forgot what the name was.
So how that works, and they do have contests. We'll get to the contests in a minute, but that's one of the contests that they have. And so I thought I was great at it. But then, so my club elected me to go participate in the regional table talks competition. And they gave me a word. And so how it works is, before you have to leave the room, or you're at the back, you know what I mean? So that you don't get to hear anybody else speaking, and you don't get to hear what the topics previously have gone on. So then you walk into the room and they give you a word or a topic or a short little sentence. And now you got to go deliver this speech. Now, from the time they give it to you till the time you walk to the front of the room, you have to come up with a speech. How it works in in your club is usually, somebody will give you a suggestion or a word and you just stand up and do it. But yeah, so I was given a word and a topic, and I don't remember what it was, but I spoke for about 45 seconds in front of this, probably 15 to 20 people. It wasn't a large room, but it was all the fellow competitors. And I didn't have anything else to say. And so obviously I didn't do as well as I thought I would. I didn't, obviously win any competition. I didn't even come first, second, or third, but that's how it can be. It can be nerve-wracking. But this is why I'm so comfortable in talking about different subjects and just being able to continue to talk, right? Because I've had that practice.
Yeah.
Would you like to try a table topics for people out there?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. Table talks are good. They'll help people build the confidence, and it's simple, right? And generally, most of the subject are stuff people know anyway. Then you talk about your dog or cat.
That's the idea. So I'm going to look around the room and find something that you can say. I'm going to use a word we are familiar with because it's part of our mission. I want you to talk about love.
Okay. Love is a wonderful thing.
Give yourself about 10 seconds to think about it.
Yep.
So because, man, you're walking to the front of the room, you're coming up with your speech. So give yourself some time. And when you're ready, talk about love.
All right. Love is wonderful. You can feel it in your heart. It's something that you can express to other people, not just a loved one, but as a friend. You can show love to a friend by doing something that they like to do. Love is one of those things that can give you power to understand someone more so than before. I said the word. It helps you get through life, because if you are self-loved, you are able to get through very troubled times because you believe in yourself. You have the confidence that you need to get through it. And then when you're confident, love will shine through easier to others because you can express it in a caring and loving way, so that when it's time to be your friend, people are more likely to like you because you have the charisma, because of the love of yourself. So that's pretty cool. Then I like to love other people, like my family, my friends. And then there's also, I guess, maybe to have like the love of others, like through charitable donations and stuff. So that could be an expression of love as well. So it's my idea about love. That's it.
Very nice, very nice. And you got probably just over 90 seconds. So that's what I want to point out. Look, it sounded like you did a fairly good speech. It was quite, detailed. It had some length to it, but you probably just made it over that 90-second mark. You did use our word of the day, so I marked that down.
Yeah.
I did notice some ums and ahs, and you would have gotten some critique on that at this point, right? Somebody would have told you, yeah, okay, so you said 5 times or whatever you said it.
Yeah.
So you would have got some critique on that. You would have got some critique on how you did on your speech, even though it's a table topics, because we do have these
right? It helps you become better. So
that's
awesome.
the idea. That's the idea. So having done that for people, I want to show another video that is about the club experience.
Okay. Cool.
Let me see if I can pull that one up, and then I'll share my video. Oh, come on. It keeps coming back to this Zoom screen. It won't go on the... Be back here in a minute. No, I can't leave the meeting. So I'm having an issue with... Pardon?
Do your share screen and find another window.
Let's try that way. What happened here? That's not... I don't think we're live. Are we still live? Does it say live?
It says live. Yeah, live recording on my end.
It just doesn't look like it's okay. So I've got to go back to Zoom, share the screen, come back to that. No, there's the Toastmasters one. And then we're looking for the club experience.
Story behind it.
Pause that. This is the video I want to play right here. So let me full screen this. Bear with us. And that's another thing too, is you'll learn, especially in this club, you'll learn the technology aspect of it.
See the video's logo right here, but instead of that, you just drop in your...
Skip ad.
Hello, I'm Stacy. Thanks for visiting Toastmasters International. More than 4 million people have become more confident speakers and leaders. They did so by visiting a Toastmasters Club in their company or community. When you visit a club, you'll find 3 things. Members give speeches, they take on meeting roles, and they have a great time learning. There's no designated teacher in a Toastmasters meeting. Instead, much of the learning happens by doing a particular task, such as giving a formal speech or fulfilling a particular meeting role. Ready to visit a club? It's free, and you can find one near you on the Toastmasters website at www.toastmasters.org. The purpose of the meeting roles is to help the members improve their speaking and leadership skills by providing feedback and evaluation. There are 7 different meeting roles: Toastmaster of the Day, Awe Counter, Grammarian, Timer, Evaluator, Table Topics Master, and General Evaluator. Every meeting is started by the club president, who introduces the Toastmaster of the Day. The Toastmaster of the Day is the host of the meeting. Fulfilling this role is great practice for leading meetings. The Toastmaster begins by introducing people who will fill other meeting roles for the day. He or she acts like an MC and keeps the meeting flowing smoothly and on time. Many clubs use an awe counter to document the number of filler words members use while speaking. At the end of each meeting, the awe counter reports how many ahs, and other similar words each speaker used. This helps members become more aware of unintended words or sounds they make when they speak. The grammarian helps members expand their vocabularies. One of the grammarian's duties is to provide a word of the day and its definition. If a member uses the word of the day or says something well, the grammarian calls attention to it. As the name implies, the timer records the exact length of each speech. He or she also uses timing lights to help speakers stay within their allocated time limit. General evaluator takes notes throughout the meeting and reports back to everyone, giving specific feedback on how well the meeting flowed and also on how future meetings might be improved. General evaluator also calls for reports by the counter, grammarian, and timer. In every club meeting, there are at least 2 members who present speeches. These speakers don't just stand up and start talking. They use the guidelines in their designated education manual to prepare their presentations and reach the objectives for each speech. Every speaker who has prepared speeches in advance enjoys one of Toastmasters' greatest evaluations. Think of it as having a friend watch you practice a speech and then give you helpful feedback. Speaker usually meets with an evaluator before the meeting and asks the evaluator to pay attention to certain aspects of the talk. After all the speeches are done, the evaluators present their feedback in front of the club, covering areas such as, did the speakers use their hands to gesture well? Did they control their voices throughout the speeches? What did they do especially well? And what are some ideas for improvement? In addition to prepared speeches, a few minutes are set aside for table topics. This is often the most challenging, but also the most fun part of our meeting. During table topics, a series of questions or speaking topics are presented, and members are selected to respond on the spot. This is excellent training for those situations that come up in everyone's lives, where we have to think fast and say just the right thing. It might be a job interview, a sales meeting, or a dinner conversation. Table topics are great for practicing and honing the skills of impromptu speaking. Now that all the reports have been made, the president calls the meeting to a close. Everyone joins Toastmasters with a personal goal. Maybe it's a goal to become a more confident presenter, or learn how to run a meeting, or think faster on your feet. Whatever it is, you can achieve your goal if you participate. So, what's your goal? For more information on the club experience, please visit a Toastmasters Club. To learn more about how you can become a better speaker and leader, visit www.toastmasters.org. To find a Toastmasters meeting near you, visit the Find a Club section at www.toastmasters.org.
Oh, I think I need to, yeah, hold on one second. So I've got our next video queued up already, but I'm not going to play that one. I'd love your thoughts on what we've just heard there, Curtis.
I think we went through just a few seconds ago, but the thing I thought was cool is the
Looking for good fit marketing leads at minimal cost? See how digital agencies like yours attract quality leads, then convert them to contracts with the Agency Partners platform.
What?
love it.
Technology, right?
Love it.
So back to what you were saying. I apologize.
Yeah, we missed a few items from earlier in there. So I don't know if I recall which ones we missed.
What do you mean by that?
Well, some of the other, like we got the grammaritarian thing, we did that. We did the word table talks. That's the one I was missing. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else was there? The timing thing. What else was there? I'm trying to think.
I did mention the evaluators, but I didn't discuss that the different rules that there are more than one evaluator. There's the evaluator of the Toastmaster of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to just evaluate them on how well they've done, so that that person can get feedback on how well they've led the meeting today.
Yeah.
Then there's evaluators of the speeches. Like I said, in my club, we all did evaluations. We all gave feedback, but it should be 2 or 3 people, so that these people are now, that's their role today. They're your judge, right? So it's not a judge-free environment. There are people looking at you on how well you do. And it's not so that, oh, well, you did this and you did that. And no, it's no, here's what you did today. here's, you were speaking up well, but maybe your voice was a little shy at this time, or you weren't gesturing well, or you weren't, you know what I mean? It's, here's how we can implement this in your next speech.
Right. So it's kind of like constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism was the word you've heard used by Ralph Smedley, right? That's the entire point of the Toastmasters. Now, you're not alone on this journey. And remember what I said, it's a structured journey, right? This is a club that's been put together and has almost 100 years of history now. And we're just experiencing something that's already putting together. So these are the manuals they've talked about. This is the first one, the Competent Communication Manual. So that's really about practicing your speaking, practicing your speech. So you have to.
Or the pathways, is that right?
Sorry?
The
This
pathways.
is the pathways. And I'm going to go to the website in a few seconds to show people what happens once you become a Toastmaster. But this is the Competent Communicator Manual. And this is where you practice your speeches. It does have, look, the very first one is, what is it called? An icebreaker. So you're basically introducing yourself, what you do to your community, to your Toastmasters group through a speech.
Cool.
And then there's 10 speeches or 10 programs in each manual. And then this is the second one, part of the Pathways program, is the Competent Leadership Manual. So these are different things you have to, and you know what, you can be doing them because there's evaluator roles in here, mentoring. So you could be doing them even though you are working on your competent communicator. You could be doing both at the same time. So the person who's responsible for this is called the VP of Education. The Vice President of Education is responsible for making sure you follow each of these manuals and get to play your part. One of the things they said in the meeting was at least 2 speeches per meeting. Now, my club, we try to do 4, and that's ideal. That's what most clubs will do. But we're also going to meet once a week. But you notice they were talking about the executives there and the roles that played. We are looking for our executive committee. And I'll get to that one in just a second, because what I wanted to do was show you next what the Toastmasters website looks like. So I'm a Toastmaster. Now I'm going to log into the Toastmasters website. You can see my screen there, Curtis?
Yep.
At the top in the center, right beside the shopping cart, because they do have items for you to buy. You know what I mean? There's plenty of opportunities. Right now you see I'm on a background screen, so I could put up a Zoom background. If I had a green screen, I could put up a Zoom background that is a meeting or something like that with the Toastmasters logo. I've been looking into a lot of things like that because I'm trying to find the resources we can use to help put our group together. So I'm going to log in here because I want to show people what the website is like. It's taking its time today. There we go. So this is the first page, and of course they want to show you the magazine. They do have a magazine that comes out every month to keep an eye on what's going on. The Path to a Better You. Now, are we not focusing on building people better?
Yes, we are.
So Toastmasters is a place for you to practice your leadership. That's really step 1. And then you mentioned pathways.
Yeah.
It says choose a path, but
I thought Pathways was a program that helps you develop your leadership.
Pathways is both of them.
Okay.
Like I said, it's the competent communicator, and it really is. That's what we're practicing to help you become an effective leader. Oh, and now they've even expanded it more. Look at this. See, it's been a lot different since I've been here.
All right.
Persuasive influence, presentation mastery, team collaboration, visionary communication. Now, look, I've been trying to communicate my vision. I've been trying to communicate, this mission and this program in Live and Love Life that we're putting together. Yeah. And so I've been sharing my vision. Now, I didn't know this stuff is here. This is entirely new since I've been a Toastmaster.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they have coaching practice, engaging humor. Now, is that not a good one for me? Now, I'm a funny guy. I can laugh it up once in a while. I can tell a joke once in a while, but I'm not entirely humorous. I have a more serious side. So engaging humor and putting fun into it might be something that I want to practice. So these are now 11 pathways that people can join.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Different resources available for members, but also for executives.
Yep.
They have an entire resource library in, like you see, multiple languages, because this is Toastmasters International. French, English, Dutch, Spanish. I'm not sure whether this is Filipino or Muslim. They've got Portuguese, Romanian, and then other Oriental languages, Polish, Italian. So I'm going to assume they have it in most languages out there. I'm not going to speak up for whether they are. But then there's different resources. You can get your manuals. Let's look at the categories so people can see. Start a club marketing. Now, I've looked up this one because I want to build a club.
Yep.
So all about Toastmasters. I've actually gotten a club information kit. I've downloaded the club leadership handbook.
Yeah, cool.
These are things that I'm trying to put together because, again, I need to be informed. I need to know how to put this club together. And so another thing I'm looking out for is our sponsor. We need to have a sponsor, somebody, either another Toastmaster out there or another organization who can help us and be our and there's no other word for it but sponsor. They're the person we go to when we need advice, when we need guidance, when we need to get new members, or we need to put more marketing together. This is our mentor to help us through the journey. So we haven't gotten that as of yet because of the realignment. I've registered in my home address, which is in Orangeville, which used to be District 86 where I belonged. But now that's been realigned, it's been reformed, and nothing north of Brampton or Mississauga, I think it is District 86. So my mentors, the people I'm working with, are District 86 because that's who I'm connected with. So we may need to find a new sponsor that's in our district. So I will find out more about that information. Today, I wanted to get a little bit about it out. Next week, we'll talk about the executive or leadership roles. I'll stop sharing the screen again for a moment. Because, and I'm not going to go into detail on what they are, but I want people to feel these are the roles we're trying to fill. Now, I'm going to be the president for at least the first year because I'm putting this organization together. It's me that started it up. It wouldn't exist without me. So I will be the president. Not that I'm being conceited. I'm ready for that journey. I believe putting a business and putting an executive together, that's something else we're working on the side. So this skill will help transfer to help putting our organization together. So these are the 7 positions, and there are more depending on the club organization. But these are the 7 positions that are needed to start a Toastmasters Club. This is the executive leadership to help run a Toastmasters Club. Now, I will be president. Curtis, I'm not sure which VP role you will play, but we need 3 VP roles, vice president. There's the vice president of education. There's the vice president of membership. There's a vice president of public relations. Each of those, they work together, but they do require 3 different people because, look, if you're managing the membership, that means the people who come into the organization, once they become, or once they visit us, once they join us, that person now takes over and they're responsible for their journey. The public relations is responsible for bringing the members in, for getting the marketing out, letting people know this is the club and you need to join us and you need to come out on this night. That's their marketing. That's what they do. But the VP of education, that's the one responsible for walking you through your manuals. That's the one responsible for making sure, you do your speeches and you're stepping up as a leader and playing those roles. And you get through these. Once you get through these, you become, I believe it's called a competent communicator. That's a designation that they have. So those are the 3 VP roles, as well as the president role. Then we need a secretary, somebody to take notes, somebody to detail what happens, what's said, who's running the speeches, that all needs to be organized. Of course, this is a club. It is a chartered club. So that means we have to have a bank account because we do have dues to collect. We do have, it is a money organization. It's not free. You see, they have a structured program that isn't cost free. So we do need a treasurer. We need somebody to manage the dollars. And then they have a sergeant at arms. Now, the sergeant at arms, have you ever seen the House of Commons?
No.
Have you ever watched the House of Commons or any Senate, anything like that? The sergeant at arms is responsible for the room. They're responsible for the environment. They're responsible to make sure the people show up, people get checked in, people go to see, the VP of membership or the VP of education if they're new, they're responsible for managing the people in the room and for maintaining decorum. Believe it or not, they may have to kick people out if they're not behaving well, right? This is the sergeant at arms role. They're responsible for the meeting and how it's run. So these are the 7 positions: president, vice president of education, vice president of membership, vice president of public relations, secretary, treasurer, and sergeant at arms. So one of the next things I want to mention is that meetings, we are run on time. And in order to run an effective meeting, you need to ensure they start on time and they end on time. And then we get as much done as the agenda allows. Hopefully we get through the entire agenda. We may have to eliminate something if something runs over time. But again, you notice there was a timer. So the timer keeps us running on schedule. And if we're running on schedule, we're keeping to the agenda and we're getting everything done as needed. So I've talked about the value of Toastmasters. I talked about why you need to belong. I've talked about the power that being a Toastmaster has for you. I'm going to play one more video so that people can, where's my share screen? The reasons why you should become a Toastmaster.
We finish around 9 o'clock then, RJ?
And we will be finished at 9 p.m. It is our next video. Where is it? So this is a 4-minute video. Being YouTube, I'm sure an ad will pop up.
Hi,
Nope.
everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about Toastmasters and why I think you should join. Toastmasters International is an international organization that helps with public speaking and leadership. And I've been a member since 2013, and I have got to admit that it is probably the single best thing I have ever done for my career and really my life. Pretty bold statement, I'm aware, but let me try to break it down into the top 5 reasons why I really encourage anyone, even if you are an awesome public speaker, why you could benefit from it. So first, I made really great friends. I was hesitant to join Toastmasters because it sounded a little like, I don't know, like debate club or something not that cool. It just sounded kind of dorky and I wasn't sure if I wanted to join. But my desire to become a better speaker outweighed any ego that I had about this. So I just went to a couple meetings and I have to say that I made some of the best friends that I could have asked for from this club. Reason number 2 is surrounding yourself with really successful. Everyone defines success differently, but to me, successful people are constantly investing in themselves, constantly pushing themselves to be better. And you're not going to find people like that more so than at a Toastmasters. My club meets at 7:30 a.m. You don't get paid to be in Toastmasters. If you are getting up and getting to a meeting in your busy day purely because you want to work on yourself, that is going to motivate you. Also work on myself. It's going to help me become more successful. The third reason is about self-improvement. Every single thing you can participate by either giving a speech or you could be an evaluator or some other officer. And when you're doing that, you're continually practicing your public speaking. It's a muscle that you just have to practice over and over again. Which brings me to my 4th point, and that is feedback. Some people hate feedback, but But to me, feedback is one of the greatest gifts that you can get. And in every Toastmasters meeting, if you give a speech, you have an evaluator that's assigned to you. And the evaluator is also giving a little mini speech, more or less, because it's a 2-minute evaluation. What this evaluator is giving you is priceless. They are giving you tips right then and there on how you can improve speaking, things that you did well, and the things that you could improve on. That is huge. Think of anything that you want to do. You're probably not going to be very good at it at first. And of course, it's great to have friends and encourage you no matter what. But if you are serious about getting better at something, what's far better than people telling you that you're perfect is people who have great intentions and are telling you all those nitpicky things that other people are probably not going to tell you. The last and most important thing that I think Toastmasters gave me was self-confidence. When you speak better, you feel that you're being heard. And when you feel that you are being heard and then people are actually listening to what you have to say and acknowledging it, then it helps you feel better. And the more you feel better, the more you like yourself. The more you like yourself, the more confident you are. And the more confident you are, the better able you are to follow your dreams, to make better choices, and it will impact every single relationship that you have in your life. Those are the top 5 reasons that I think that you should join Toastmasters. It completely changed my life. You are at all interested in improving your self-confidence and your public speaking and leadership skills, then I highly encourage you to go to toastmasters.org and look up your nearest Toastmasters chapter.
That's cool.
So
We're good,
let's see.
RJ?
Yep. Just making sure I stop the video this time. Stop my
You only had a
share.
podcast.
So
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about Toastmasters and why I think
we don't need to hear from her again. No, that's okay.
Did you know that Toastmasters has a podcast on iTunes?
They do. They do. So please, have you looked it up? Can you send people to it? Can you direct them to it right now?
Only on iTunes. The other one was on Google Music, but it doesn't work, the link.
And I'm sure whatever you go for your podcast, if you put in Toastmasters, you'll find more than one, because not only does Toastmasters have their own official podcast, but they've also, people have put out podcasts around the Toastmasters program. Look, it is about practicing your speaking after all.
Yeah.
So I've showed the value. I've showed the power of becoming a Toastmaster. I want people out there to become a Toastmaster. Power is important to me. I've created a course around it. So these are things that by stepping into this journey, you can develop yourself as a leader, as a communicator, even just in your day-to-day life. So we've talked about that. I do want to say, this is what I heard a quote. No matter what happens, it's only Toastmasters. That's a quote I heard from somebody I follow called Lance Miller, who's really promotes the program. So you know what? This is a safe space. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
Next week, I will hopefully show people the leadership aspect. We'll talk about those leadership roles because we do need to fill in our executive committee. Nobody joined us tonight. I hope people watched on Facebook. I hope they get value out of this. And
hashtag replay.
Watch it, hashtag replay, and then come out and join us next week to see why Toastmasters should be part of your journey. Again, a powerful organization. So come out and join us.
Awesome, guys. Have a great night, RJ. Take care,
And
guys.
by the way, the word of the day, I think I just added them all in and beat you. So don't worry, I'll host next week's event.
Perfect.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's almost 9 o'clock and we do finish on time. So have a great night. Thank you for joining us today on this Toastmasters journey. And hopefully you come out and join us on this club journey. Life Leaders Toastmasters.
Good night.
Let me